Hey, I wanted to explain the conception of this channel, crucially why I quit my 9 to 5 and what on earth I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable. So I'm Ruth, I work with my boyfriend in Farnborough. So I'm literally like 5 seconds into this video and I've made a mistake. We don't work together in Farnborough. We live in Farnborough, and actually I thought I'd just add, I work in Newbury, or I did work in Newbury 1 day a week. The rest was remote, and my boyfriend, he works in Guildford, currently going into the office 2 days a week and the rest remote. So obviously now he gets full use of the car. We don't have to like work out our schedules so much around each other. But yeah, thought I would just kind of, I mean, it's human, right? I'm quite new to this, but yeah. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video, please. Which is in Hampshire, not too far from London. We live in a 2-bed flat, and ever since I graduated 7.5 years ago, I've worked full-time in market research. I started out earning 18k a year and probably undersold myself at that early stage. I have a degree, a first class honours in English and History from the Royal Holloway University of London, and basically was just really eager to start working, to get office experience. And so I started on 18k. I worked my way up, essentially following the traditional path, I suppose, within market research, and got just above 40k in those years spent working for 3 different research agencies. And I mean, we got to this point where actually my boyfriend is working in a completely different industry to me, but it's another private company, it's another professional services kind of like office role. And for both of us, the feeling that we weren't really being fulfilled, that the progress was really slow, and that there's a lot of trade-offs when you're working for private companies, got to us. So I also started to strongly have this feeling that I wanted to try and start my own business, to have more autonomy. And I feel like it's probably a dream for a lot of people, at least to think, you know, be your own boss is like a really, in some ways, far off but kind of aspirational desire. But I also realised that in my role, I was no longer gaining anything of value for me personally. I could see where I was fitting in within the company structure. I could see that obviously that was working for the company. But for me personally, I felt in every single job that I've done, so the 3 full-time positions within market research agencies, I had something to gain when I joined those organisations. And if you're interested in learning more about that and kind of my pathway, making my way up through those organisations and my own kind of professional story, then I'll make another video. Like, please do comment if you want to hear more on that. But essentially, yeah, like it got to the point where it wasn't really benefiting me aside from the monthly paycheck. Obviously, a monthly paycheck is useful, to say the least. And that kind of leads me to the second segment of this video, which is all about why I decided to quit my job and how I was even able to. So the job that I was doing, I was bringing in 2.5k a month, which in the UK, like, that's pretty good. Like, it's above average anyway for full-time work. And honestly, the whole ethos and something which is going to be driving the spirit of this channel is scrimp and spend, hence the name. But the idea as well of being careful with your money and putting it to things that really add value to your life. And to cut a long story short, there's going to be a lot more kind of personal finance-y type tips coming up on this channel. But basically, we got to the point where we were able to live off one salary, and in fact we've been doing it for some time. So we're both fortunate to have a good education and above average earnings, and so really we didn't need much more than that to live on, and it just meant that we could go and get by and not lose our standard of living even with just one salary. And so we've done many things to set ourselves up to get to this point. We were living in a 2-bed flat, which arguably we could have afforded more when we took our mortgage out, but we got this place. So fortunately we are also on a low interest rate right now. We fixed it for 5 years when we moved in almost 4 years ago. So we've got a good year of certainty with regard to our liabilities, and we don't have any dependents right now. Only pet that we have is a little hamster, and we don't have any children. So the time in our lives, like I'm 28 and my boyfriend is 30, and it really felt like a great time to try and break the mold, to try and start our own thing. It's felt super liberating. By the way, this is my first official day of being my own boss. My job I finished on Friday. This is the following Monday, and I had a really nice send-off from the company that I worked for, and we had our office Christmas party on that day. So essentially, yeah, like those are all the reasons why I quit, and also how I'm able to, and the financial situation is that my boyfriend is going to continue with his job and be, I suppose, for the time being until I start making money from this venture, the person who is bringing in the salary. And essentially what we've done is previously about the equivalent of my salary we were investing. So the sacrifice, the trade-off, we're going to stop investing for the time being. I suppose we kind of view it like we're investing in this venture, we're investing in me to enable me to put the time in to build up a business, and hopefully, I mean, we have faith that that will pay off over time and that we'll get a good return on our investment. And then the final segment is, where do I go from here? So I have a few different ideas of business opportunities. First and foremost, I've got the Scrimp and Spend initiative, I suppose, and I have a real desire to help people do better with their money, and I mean that in the best way possible. I want people to get value out of their money. I don't want people to be paying a lot of interest and struggling financially. I really want people to feel empowered, liberated, and hopefully to actually get a piece of financial freedom. And that's something that I've been thinking about recently, in that a lot of people believe financial freedom as this far off desire to have a big pot of money that is so big that it's never going to deplenish, or it's going to be self-sustaining for the rest of your life. So essentially a retirement pot is the goal, is where people see financial freedom playing a part. And whether or not you want to do that at a younger age, it's a long way off for a lot of people. And what I want to try and do from now on is live in the moment. And essentially, I've realized that even the steps we've taken to this point has given us a piece of financial freedom. So to take this step, to be able to follow our dreams, and for me to be able to work full-time on this venture, is in some ways a feeling of freedom, of liberation. And it just goes to show, I think, that you don't need to have a lifetime's worth of savings. You just need to be a little bit savvy. And obviously, I should say that we are fortunate to have had the education that we have, to have had the work opportunities that we have had. So by no means do I think that it's an even playing field for everyone. It isn't. But I think if you can start with the small things and you can actually prioritize what you value in life, then hopefully you can also get a piece or up level your piece of financial freedom. So that's a real goal for this particular avenue. The other things that I'm really keen to do, being, I suppose, a newly ordained, like a new entrepreneur, is just to learn things. So I'm going to be sharing the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows with you guys. I'm going to keep this as a record, a document of my progress, of the things I learn. And to be honest, if it can help somebody else, then that's great for me. It will keep me honest, and I just think it will be very fulfilling to document the process. And I'm sure I'll be learning new things all the time, so I should have, in theory, like good content to put out. And I have a couple of ideas that I'm going to pursue as well, like outside of this, so I can essentially use this channel to share those tips and tricks with you. Immediately I'm going to be looking into all of the tax benefits of running your own business and kind of how that tax system works here in the UK. And yeah, I'm really excited to share my journey with you guys as things progress. Thank you ever so much for listening. This is very new to me, so obviously if you have any advice generally, or even about like the camera setup or any of the stuff behind the scenes, then please do let me know. And hope you have a great day, and thanks again. Bye.